All right, today we're going to break down some of the top micro-niche careers for 2026. Now, these aren't just your everyday jobs. Think of them as high-demand, low-competition territories where you can become the go-to expert in months, not decades. So let's dive right in and see where these hidden gems are. So, this is the big question, right? In a world that's changing so fast it can make your head spin, just finding work that's stable, let alone rewarding, well, it can feel like a huge challenge. We're all trying to figure out what that future-proof path actually looks like.
You know, this quote really nails the whole idea behind what we're talking about today. The biggest opportunities, they're not found by following the herd. No way! They're hidden in these new, emerging fields that are solving brand new problems nobody even thought of a few years ago.
Okay, so our first micro-niche is a direct result of one of the biggest industry shifts of our lifetime, the absolute explosion of artificial intelligence.
I mean, think about it for a second. We all know AI is booming, but for the big companies out there, the problem is they're actually terrified. They're lying awake at night asking, are our algorithms biased? Are they too invasive? Heck, are they even legal? These are huge, potentially company-ending risks. And that's exactly where this role comes in. As an AI ethics consultant, you become the solution to that huge problem. And with governments in the EU and the US passing some incredibly strict new regulations to protect people, literally every Fortune 500 company is now scrambling to hire what's basically an AI compliance officer.
And for that kind of expertise, well, the reward is pretty significant. We're looking at an average starting salary in the US somewhere between $130,000 and $180,000. But what might really surprise you is the kind of background that can actually get you into a role like this.
So here's the kicker. You don't have to be a coder. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. If you have a background in something like law, or even philosophy, or data privacy, you already have the kind of foundational thinking they need. This is your gold mine.
All right, let's jump to our second niche. You'll see this one builds on another massive cultural shift, the demand for total transparency from companies, especially when it comes to the environment. In today's market, if a brand is caught making false or misleading environmental claims, what we call greenwashing, it's basically a death sentence. Consumers, especially in the US, are demanding real, authentic transparency. They want proof, not just promises.
And this is where the Green Auditor steps in. Your whole job is to dig deep into a company's supply chain. Where are they getting their stuff? Is it ethical? Is it carbon neutral? You're the one who provides that certified seal of trust. And with new mandatory ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance reporting standards, companies are absolutely desperate for certified auditors.
And here's a little pro tip from the source material. Don't just be a generalist. If you really want to build maximum authority, and let's be honest, charge the highest fees, you gotta specialize. Pick a high-impact sector like fashion or tech and become the go-to expert for that entire industry.
Okay, this last one, it's a little bit more futuristic, I'll admit. But it's growing like crazy, and it solves a problem almost none of us are even thinking about yet. What happens to all of our digital stuff after we're gone? No, seriously, just stop and think about this. We spend our entire lives building this huge collection of digital assets. Cryptocurrency, social media accounts, all our photos and documents in the cloud, intellectual property. I mean, the list goes on and on. But where does it all go?
Well, the digital legacy architect is the answer. This person is a super trusted advisor who helps high net worth individuals get organized, secure everything, and then create a clear plan to transfer their entire digital afterlife to their family and heirs. It's an unbelievably personal and specialized service. And this really shows you how unique the role is. It's one part cybersecurity expert and one part old school estate planner. And because the trust factor is just astronomically high, so is the compensation. A huge premium is paid for that peace of mind. So we've looked at 3 incredible opportunities. Now for the big question, how do you actually break into a micro niche, like one of these? Well, believe it or not, the strategy is surprisingly simple. It really boils down to this simple 3-step formula. First, you find a major pain point in a booming industry, just like we saw with AI compliance or greenwashing. Second, you stack the skills you already have on top of it. And third, you build a powerful personal brand. And this is what we mean by skill stacking. It's not about starting over from scratch, not at all. It's about combining what you already know with a new growing field. So your background in law plus the AI boom, that equals the AI ethicist. Your finance experience plus the new ESG rules, that equals the Green Auditor. See, it's a really powerful combo.
Now, this is so important. In these brand new fields, there are no established college degrees or 10-year career paths. So the most crucial thing to understand is that your reputation is your resume. Building that authority, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, is literally everything. And this brings us to the final, really big takeaway. The world is just changing faster than our traditional education system can possibly keep up. You can't just wait around for university to finally offer a degree in something that was just invented last year.
The real opportunity is to get there first, to become the expert before the crowd even knows that the field exists. So the question I want to leave you with is this: which one of these unseen paths are you going to explore?